We'll just wait for 1 more minute and we can start. Okay, so let's start. Let me share my screen. And one thing to update, actually tomorrow we'll not be having the class. Okay, so again on Friday we'll be having the class. So let us talk something about transform maps. Okay, so any one of you know what is transform map? Like if you have some basic knowledge about the service now, like you'll be knowing that. But any one of you know like what is transform map? You can just say yes, no. Do people know what is transform map? Yes, no.
Hello. I think you're not audible.
Sorry.
Okay.
Am I audible now?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. So actually transform map is something, let me reiterate. So the transform map is something like it is used in the import sets to map the data okay, from external data source into the appropriate tables in the ServiceNow. So this is the definition, but let me tell you in a simplified way. Say, for example, if we have 100 users, okay, if we have 100 users who are onboarded to the organization. So what I want is, I just want those 100 users, okay, to be created in the ServiceNow. Okay, so one way is you can just go to the sys user table. Okay, you can just go to the sys user table and you can click on new, create. Let me, okay, you can click on new, fill the details, submit. Click on new, fill the details, submit. Like if it is 1 or 2 users, that's fine. But like, let's say if you have 100 records. Okay, so it's the repetitive task which you need to do again and again. Okay, so that's the reason what we will be doing is, so let's read the definition again. It is used in import sets. Okay, it is used to map the data from external data source into the appropriate tables. Okay, external data source. So if I say here external data source, okay, so that external data source might be anything. It might be the CSV file, it might be the Excel file, or it might be from some database. Okay, whatever it might be. Other than ServiceNow, everything is an external. Okay, so if you want to like load the data from these external data sources into ServiceNow, okay, into ServiceNow tables, we will be using this transform maps. Okay, so what it does is like it helps us to import the data from the import set table, to the ServiceNow table. Okay, let me explain you in with some diagram. Now, okay, let's see here. Say, for example, you have any external data source. It might be JDBC, it might be HTTP, Excel, CSV, XML, whatever it might be. Okay, so if you want to load this data from any of these tables into the ServiceNow, so what we will be doing is, so this we will call it as the external data source. So from these external data sources, we will load the data to our table in the ServiceNow that is called as the import set table. Okay, so once we import this to the import set table, we will transform it and we will move it to the target tables. So you might have asked me like, what is the need of this transform? Okay, so it's not necessary for the external data source to have the same field names. Okay, let's say here you have something called as a username, first name, last name. It's not necessary from the external data source to have the same field names in the Excel also. Excel, HTTP, whatever it might be. So that's the reason. So once we load this into the import set table, we will map it. Okay, we will map the fields and then we will move it to the whatever the table we want in the ServiceNow. So is this clear? Yes, no?
Does it take only text or image as well?
So these are the things like which is accepted. So in the Excel, we can't put the images, right? In CSV file, XML file. So this is something like in all these tables, you will be having the data. Okay, it's not the images. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Okay, so that is one thing. Okay, so in this transform map process, okay, there are some steps which you need to follow when you are doing the transform maps. So the first step is something like,
Can we transfer our image also?
No, that's what I told you. Like it is used for transforming the data. Okay, user data, incident data, like if you open any ServiceNow table, you will be finding the records there, right? Like the data there, not the images, right? Like say for example, in the user table. Okay, so if you want to import any image, so can we store that image in the Excel? No. Okay, so this is what, like from these external data sources, you will be able to transform the data. Okay, so
But this
now,
is what if the client has provided any data in the form of image? Then how to extract that data from the image? Is there any provision for that so that we can accommodate our data into the JDBC or HTTP, Excel, CSV file?
I didn't get your question. Do you want to import the images?
No, no, no. If the
Uh-huh.
client has provided data in the form of images, so how do
No,
we have
no.
any
Like
procedure over there or
it should
anything?
be in any of these forms only. If it is in the
Okay,
image, you have to convert it into either Excel or CSV format or XML format, and then only you can move it. Because like if it is in the form of an image, it cannot read it. I'll show you
there
like
is
what
no
are the
provision.
formats it will be accepting also. I'll just show you in the ServiceNow also when we are doing it. Okay.
Okay, no, thank you.
Okay. So now like the steps which we need to do is initially, as I told you, we need to load the data into the import set table. Okay. So once we load the data into import set table. Okay. So once we load the data into the import set table, so the next step is something like the field mapping. Okay. So you need to do the which field will get mapped to that. Okay. So that field mapping needs to be done. Okay. If any scripting support is required, we will be writing that. Okay, it's not necessary to write the scripts for each and every transform map, but if required, we need to write. And then like after writing the scripts, what we'll be doing? We will be doing data manipulation. Okay, so in this data manipulation, what will happen? Like it will concatenate, say for example, in the scripting, if you ask to concatenate those strings or if you want to look up some strings. Okay, so all these data manipulations will be done there. So after that, what will happen? Either auto mapping or manual mapping will happen. Okay, we'll just click on auto mapping. If the field names are same, it will get auto mapped, or otherwise we need to map it manually. Then we have something called as the coalesce. Okay, coalesce is something like I can say this is the unique identifier which identifies the duplicate records. Okay, let me show you an example. That time you'll be more clear. Let me prepare an Excel with the data.
Does it only identify or it remove?
It will not load the data.
Okay.
Okay, it will not load the data at all. So you can just like follow my instructions and you people also can do the same. Okay, so first what step we are doing? We want to load the data. Okay, so for that, like we want to, let's say we will take an use case, okay, where I want to load the user data into the user table with some, let's say we'll just take 4 fields. Okay, with that fields, we will try to load the data into the service now. Okay, so for that, like I'm just preparing some Excel where I have something called as the username or user ID. First name, I'll just call it as a F name. Last name, I'll just call it as a L name. Okay, and then employee number.
So here, 𝗪𝗶𝘁𝗶𝗲, like you are inputting a data into ServiceNow.
Yes.
So to the user table. So we
Mm-hmm.
have thousands of users.
Mm-hmm.
So I need like one or two user not needed. So at this time, how can
One or two user not needed in the sense I didn't get your question. Like
some suppose
where you
one
don't need.
two 1 2 3 numbers we have na.
Okay.
I have already the client come and says So 102 user to 103 user not needed.
Okay.
It is
You
a
just,
large data. So
uh-huh.
how can we delete without deleting from here Excel?
You,
Is there any
okay.
possibility to delete from through the ServiceNow or anything?
You can write the script there as an exception saying whenever you find the my user with the employee number, let's say the employee number is 1234. Okay.
Okay.
Whenever you find the user with the employee number 1234, I don't want to import it. Simple.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay. Okay.
now
Fine. Thank you.
let's prepare demo test one. Okay, I'll just load some 10 users. Test one, user one. Okay. I'm just giving some random names to the employee number. I'll just give 121. Okay. So I'm just preparing some random data with the fields called as the user ID, first name, F name, L name, employee number. Okay. So did you prepare this Excel? You can just prepare Excel with whatever the data you want. At least with some fields like user ID, first name, last name, employee number are the mandatory fields, right? You can just prepare some data like this. And let me know once you are done. I'll just save it. Okay, I'll just save it in my system. Let me know when you people are done so that we can just go to the process in the service now. So whatever names you want, you can just give it here. Okay, it's not necessary that you have to give the same names. Is it done? JDBC, I don't have the JDBC connector. Just give me a minute. Are you people done with creating the Excel or you need some time? So in order to show the JDBC example, Sagar, I don't have that JDBC connector installed. Okay. So, but in the same way, you have to do it. Okay. So this is the one. So now let me go to the ServiceNow page. Where is it? Okay, so this is the page. So now so the first step, what I told you here, the first step is loading the data, right? The first step is load the data. Load the data into the import set table. So what you need to do, just click on load data. Okay, just click on load data. So when you click on load data, like you can see what that does also. Load data from a file for import to begin and import to ServiceNow. Okay. So now there are two options here. Do you want to create a new table for this import set table, or do you want to use the same existing table? Okay, let me do it from scratch. So let me create a table also. Okay, so let me give some name as demo transform. Okay, I can just give whatever the name I want. So it will be the name of the table which is getting created. Okay, so I told you that like the import set table is getting created, right? So for this table, you are naming it there. Okay, so you are naming this import set table. Okay, so I'm just giving the name as the demo transform. Okay, so here I have two things. One is the file, one is the data source. Now let's see for the file. Okay, so the data source is something like you have already created data source, and like if you just want to use that data source, then we can see that data source. As of now, we have it in the file. So let's take the file. So now choose the file. So this is the one that is demo import data. I can just take that, click on open. Okay, so I'll just submit it. So once I submit, what will happen? Like it is running, and whatever the data which you have it in the Excel. Okay, so that will get loaded to the import set table. If you just want to see all those, okay, you have, if you want to go to the import sets for this data load, you can click on this. If you want to see the loaded data, click on this. Okay. So here what we have done, the import set number is this one. Okay. And the type of file which you have done is the Excel type, and like it is in loaded stage now. Okay. We have just loaded data. To which table we have loaded it? We have loaded it to the demo transform import set table. So this is the data source which I'm talking about. So once you have uploaded the data into any import set table, that becomes a data source. From the next time, like if you want to upload any data to the same table, I can just take the same data source. Okay, we will just see that also. So when it got created, loaded, load runtime and all, and you have something called as a demo transform. Okay, so now let me get the records for you. So these are the records which we have imported, right? Employee number, F name, L name. Yeah, any questions?
Yeah, that table name has got some prefix, right? Like U underscore. That means user defined table, or what does it mean? Like
It's user defined table. So whenever we have with a U underscore, okay, those are nothing but the user defined tables. If you don't have any U in between, like those are the out of box tables.
okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay. So employee number, F name, L name, and what else we have created? User ID, right? Okay, let me get those fields on the top. So this is the data which we have loaded, right? Yes or no? Okay, so this is the data which we have loaded. So this data got loaded into this custom table. This imports a table, demo transform.list. Okay, so the data is in this table now. Okay, so loading of the data to the import set table is done. So then the next step is like we need to transform it. So you just need to create a transform map. Okay, so in this transform map, you can just give some name. Okay. Let's give demo transform data. Okay, I can just give any name. So you people are following, like, are you doing the same thing in your instances?
Yes.
Okay. So now the source table is nothing but the import set table here. Okay, then the application global, the target table, where do I want to load this data? I just want to load this data to sys user table. Okay, we just want to load this data to the user table. So the user table is something like sys_user. Okay, these things like we will be learning in the basic things when we start the course of the service now, like what is this table, what are the out of box things, what is the custom things, how we can identify those. Okay, and deep into those tables and all. Okay, so now I'm just taking the transform map thing. So here the source table is this import set table. The target table is the user table. The active, okay, if you want to run any business rules like which are running, you can just keep it. It will not affect much. Enforce mandatory fields. Like if you want to definitely like the mandatory fields should be there by default. Like you can just keep the fields as it is. Okay. And like if you want to copy the empty fields also, if data is not there, you can just click that and create a new record on 𝗪𝗶𝘁𝗶𝗲 fields. You can click that. Okay, let me leave it as it is. Okay, then I'll just save it. So the only thing which I have done is I have named, okay, I'm creating a table transform map where I gave some name called as a demo transform data. And here I just want to map this import set data to the target table, that is the user table. So that's the reason I've just given the target table as the user table. Okay, if you just scroll down, you have an option called as the auto map matching fields. Okay, if the field name in the import set table matches with the field name in the user table, it will be auto mapped, or otherwise you have to map it manually. Okay, so the field map is created. Why? Because only for the employee number, the name remains the same. So that's the reason like this got auto created. Okay, so for the remaining fields, if I want to do, I need to click on this mapping assistant. Okay, you have something called as a mapping assistant, right? So just click on that. Okay, so if I click on the mapping assistant, I just need to map it manually. So what are the fields which I have? It's F name, L name, and I have something called as the user ID, right? So what is the names in the user table? If name is something like the first name, L name is nothing but the last name. Okay, user ID, I think it should be username something. Yeah, it's username. Okay, if you want to know about that, like whether you have mapped it correctly or not, you have something called as a data viewer here. Okay, so this will tell us, say, for example, in the demo transform table, okay, so F name is nothing but like you have this one. L name is nothing but you have this one. Okay, and society, state, okay, whatever the data which you have there, it will be showing in the same way in the user table. Okay, but if you want to see whether you mapped it correctly or not, you just need to click on this mapped fields. So it will show you, okay, employee number, here the value is 124. So for the, it has taken an example of survey user, it doesn't have any value. Okay, it will just say like what is the value which is showing there. Okay, nothing more than that. Clear till here? Are you people done till here or stuck somewhere?
The Excel sheet
Please.
this also the Excel sheet that you prepared is having less number of fields, but the when you can you go back to the screen, previous screen once? We have got, yeah, we have got some more fields also, right? Like updates
Yes,
updated
yes.
by.
Yes, by
Those are
default,
on
there
the
will be some out-of-box fields which will get created whenever you create a table. So that thing we can discuss when we discuss on creation of the tables. So what are the fields which will get auto-created? Okay, so by default, there will be some out-of-box fields which will get auto-created. So this created by SysID. Okay, so this SysID is nothing but the unique identifier which will be there for each and every record. Okay, so that is like something like this one. What else? We have it updated by update. So these are like the by default fields which will get created whenever you create a table.
okay.
Clear, Anil?
Yeah, clear.
Okay. So are you people are on the same page, or are you lagging somewhere? There are multiple records and how to tackle this instead of going for manual work. So the only thing is just match the field names and keep the same field names in the Excel so that like you can just click on auto map. This is nothing like you're doing it, right? You're just dragging and dropping. That's it. It's not a much of work here. You're not creating anything. You're just clicking whatever you want and you're just adding and removing it. I don't think that's a big task. Any other questions or can we just go ahead? Yes, no? But there might be chances of mismatching sometimes. So that's the reason we have this data viewer. Okay, if you click on this mapped fields, you will come to know whether you mapped it correctly or not. That is the use of this data viewer actually. Because
And
it's a
auto
system.
mapping,
Okay. Yeah, tell me.
yeah, that auto mapping performs only when the source and target tables are having the same to same,
Field
exactly
name.
same to same field name,
Same field
right?
name. Yes,
Okay,
yes, same
okay,
field name. Because it's the system, right? Like it's not the person who will be doing it. Okay. So it cannot guess what's happening and it can not foresee the things.
okay,
So that's the reason you have to do it manually.
okay. So yeah, mapping assist is the best one, like manual mapping.
Yeah. Like you can just click on auto map. If something happens, that's good. Or otherwise, you can just take it from here.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, that's it from my side.
Okay. Okay, then let's go ahead. If the same record is, who is this asking? Then what is, all right. If the same record is having multiple data, same record is having multiple data, what do you mean, Sagar? You can just like unmute and talk. What do you mean by same record having multiple data? Am I audible?
Yeah, you
Okay.
are audible.
Yeah, you
Okay
are
then.
right.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. So what I'm doing is I'm just getting this employee number, F name, last name, user ID. Okay, Sagar, actually I didn't get your question. You can just unmute and ask like if you have that question. Okay, so here like I'm just putting this field maps. Okay, so I can just get that like clarified by seeing this map fields whether I mapped it correctly or not. Then I can just click on save. Okay, you have saves in both the places. You can do whatever you want. Then you can see the field maps are done. Now you have something called as the coalesce. Okay, so this also plays a major role. So coalesce is something like what is the unique identifier in your table. Okay, so I'll see the unique identifier here is something like the employee number. Okay, I'll just make the employee number as the coalesce. Okay, and I'll just save it. Done. Loading of the data is done. Loading of the data to the import set table is done. Then the next step is like you have created the transform map, table transform map. So once you have created the table transform map, then you have also mapped the fields. Okay, so that part is also done. Field mapping is also done. Scripting support, like it's the basic thing. No need of any scripting support. Data manipulation, nothing. So auto mapping or manual mapping, we have tried that. So 𝗨𝗃𝗁 is also done. Now, let us transform this. Okay. Just click on something called as the transform. Okay. So what I'm trying to transform, I'm trying to transform the data from demo transform data, that is the import set table, to the sysuser table. Okay, click on transform. It's complete, success, but let's see what has happened. You can just see, open all the three things. Let me show you. So this is the import set. Okay, so it is saying that loaded thing which we saw before, right? Now it is processed. The state has been changed to the processed. Okay, so the demo data. Okay, so this is the data. Now you can see, okay, complete. It took just 1 second to import 10 records. Okay, all the 10 records are inserted here. Clear? All the 10 records are inserted here. Now let us go back to the user table and see whether the records, you can see here, import set rows also, you can see what are the records which got inserted. Okay, now let us go to the user table and see like whether the records got inserted or not. Okay, if you want, you can just type in user. Okay, so under user administration, you have something called as the users. Okay, we have some base tables and core tables concept. Okay, so we have the user table, user administration. Under user administration, you have something called as the users. Okay, just click on that. So with this, I'm trying to open. Okay, so this is the table name. With that, I'm trying to open it from the navigator. So can you see this, like the first name, last name, and what else we have done? Employee number. So all the fields are there. Yes or no? Username also, right? All the fields are present, like test 9, user 9, test 10, test 1. Okay, you can just sort it. Oh, go. Let me sort it with created itself. Okay, so there were 10 records. All the 10 records got inserted here. Clear till here? Or any queries? Okay, no problem. You can just like ask whenever you are good. Any questions here? Or you people are clear with that? Yes, no, just answer something.
Clear.
Okay, okay. Thank you. So now we'll do one more thing. Okay, so what we'll do is, we'll just keep the same 121. Okay, and we will try to change this name. Demo update. Okay, demo update one. Let's see. Test one update. User one update. Okay, and one more thing, what I'll do is, I'll just give one more. Okay, one more employee ID, but I'll give the same data. Two things we are trying to do here. What are those? First one, I'm giving the same employee number, but I have just updated this data. Okay. And the second one is, I have given different employee number, but I have given the same data as demo to test 2. Okay. Let's save it. Okay. Now let's come back to the service now. Okay, and you have one more option. Say, for example, you have loaded the data. Okay, so that's large data, let's say, but it's stopped in between. Okay, and you're not able to do it. Okay, so that time what you can do is you have an option to reprocess here. Okay, so you can just click on reprocess. If you feel that something is not working properly, you can just click on reprocess. So the state will be to the loaded again. Then you can transform. Okay, so the transform is the same thing. Click on transform. Transformation is complete. Like if you just see the log. Okay, so this log shows like what is happening. Okay, so cleaning import sets. Usually what will happen is like whenever you do that import logs and all, it will be just staying for 7 days and after that it will get cleaned up automatically. Okay, so this is the second one which we have done, right? 714. If you just open that, you can see there were total 10 records, but the 10 records got ignored. It is not inserted. Why is it not inserted? Because you can see the import log here. Okay, so all the 10 records got ignored. Why? Because like that is the duplicate records, because I'm trying to do the same thing again and again. So I don't want any duplication of the tasks, right? Duplication of the records in the user table. So that's why I gave the 𝗨𝗶𝘁𝗲𝗃 as the employee number. So what it will be doing is like it will come and check 121. Okay, 121 is there. It will just try to skip it. 122 is there. It will just try to skip it. Okay. So that's what happened here. Now let's see with this example. We'll just try to load the data again. Okay. And try to see what will happen here.
This is a just can you show the Excel file that I want to ask you one question.
Okay. Okay.
For example, in user ID, if we are showing user demo test 1, demo test 2, demo test 3 like this data, okay? And respectively, if we are showing, for example, demo test 2 and demo test 2, we are taking 2 types, okay? And
yes,
respectively, we are showing the different employee number. Then how it will decide that which one is to consider for transforming the data, whether to take data test 2 or data test 3.
That's what I just want to show you.
Okay.
That's what I just want to show you. Okay, let us do it.
It will be confusing to decide which one to take, correct?
Yeah, actually the thing is what it will do is so what it will do is it will try to check. There we have given only single 𝗨𝗃, right? The single 𝗨𝗃 is nothing but their employee number. So it will just check what is the employee number. It's a new employee number. It will try to create a record with the data. I'll just show you that, like how it happens and all. You can only tell me. Okay. Let's do the steps. So the same steps because the data is different. Okay, or otherwise I can just take the same table instead. Okay, I'll just take the same import set table and I'll load this new data there. Because like already existing data is mapped to the ServiceNow user table, right? It's done. So I can just clear that and I can put one more thing. I can just use the same thing. Now you got it, like why I'm using the same existing table, because the data in the import set table are already moved to the user table. Okay, so that is not required for me. So I can just take this. So the file, choose file, click on submit. Okay, so there were 11 records, inserts 11 and all. Okay, so now I just want to create a transform map. Or let me do the run transform for the same data, because like for the loaded data, demo transform data to the sys user table, click on transform. Okay, now if I see this, you'll come to know. Can you see this? What has happened? Okay, so here what it will do is it will check. Okay, say for example, user test 2, user 2. Okay, the target record, it's already there. It is ignored. No field values are changed. So I'm not doing anything. So this is also ignored like the same way. But here it is throwing me an error saying error during insert of sys user test 2 user 2 because like I already found that record. Demo 2 test 2. Okay, even if I give this different employee number, it is throwing me an error saying that this demo test 2 is already existing. Now you got it, like how you can identify it. The system will not get confused. Okay, it will throw us an error. Clear? Who has asked me that question?
Yes.
Is it clear now? I just want to show you how it works. So that's the reason I've taken the same thing.
Correct.
Okay.
Got it.
So in the import log, it will say like this is the same value. So that's the reason I'm just throwing an error. Okay. But if you see this, the first one, okay, so it got updated. It thinks in such a way that, okay, so for that record, we got a new data. So let's update it. Okay, so if you see the user table now, this one, if you see the user table, before it was test 1, user 1, right? Now it got updated to the test 1 update, user 1 update. Any queries here?
No, ma'am.
Okay, clear with this?
Yes, I'm clear.
Okay, thank you. So this is how we will be doing the transform maps. So if we have any duplicate data, the system will be able to identify it and like solve it. It will just throw an error saying that like this data, you already have it, boss. Why are you doing it again? But if we put like for the same employee number, if we update like other data, it will think that like it's the update which is happening for that record and it will update it. Okay.
And for blank record, for example, if you are not putting purposely any record, then
Let's see that example also.
yeah.
So what do you want to make it as blank?
Yes. Yeah, we can show the employee number.
Employee number, you want to make it as blank?
Yeah, for any one record.
Okay. So 131 anyways, it's not inserted, right? Let me remove this. So this, you want to make it as blank?
Yeah, that is okay.
Okay. Let me do the same steps again. Load data. I'll just take that. I'll just use the same table. Okay. I'll just change the file because like file we have updated. I'll just use the same transform map also. I'm just running it. It is skipped because it is unable to resolve the target record. Police value is not at all present. Clear?
Yes.
Okay, it's not able to identify that record at all.
Okay. But so data matching will not be possible, correct? Source data and target data.
So first thing is the most important thing here is the police field. Only after that police field, it will try to match the data, not before that. If it is not able to find the police data itself, like it will not go further. It will just say like police is only not available. So that's the first step, which is not at all available. Clear?
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Any other questions? You can just try one more thing. Okay, just put this thing. Okay, I just want you people to do this exercise now. I just want to put the same. Okay, but I don't want to. I just want you people to remove this data. Anything, user ID, F name or last name, anything. Okay, just load the data and let me know what is the result. I just want you people to do it right now. Why the record is not created is Aishwarya, like we are giving the same data as the same employee. We have given this same data, user ID, first name, last name, we have given the same data. So what it has done is it tries to match the employee number, the 𝗨𝗏𝗀𝗃 fields. Then if it try, like when it tries to check the user ID, F name and last name, it found something like it is already existing. Okay, so that's the reason the record is not created. Did that answer your question, Aishwarya?
Hello. Yes. But the 𝗨𝗏𝗃𝗀𝗃 is true for only for employee number, na? So
That's what we kept it, right? The 𝗨𝗃 is true for employee number. So what is that 𝗨𝗃 used for? It is used to identify the record. So once it identifies the record, the next step, what it will do, it will check the data. We are trying to import the same data, whatever we have it in that table. So that's why it will throw an error.
But even myself also thought the same thing. Like if it uses 𝗨𝗏 as the identifier, when we have got some different 𝗨𝗏 number, it will why don't it treat it as a separate record and insert? As per you, it is comparing other fields also, all the other fields also.
Yes.
But
So
we thought
first,
that
first step, what it will do is, Anil. So first it will try to check, okay, what is the 𝗨𝗏𝗃𝗀𝗃. Okay, so then it found it is something like 131. Then it will try to match 131 is not at all present. Okay, let's try to insert the data. When it is trying to insert the data, it found that the data is already present.
other fields data, yeah.
Other fields data is present. So that's the reason like it threw an error.
Okay, now I got it. But usually when if in normal database operations, if the identifier is different, then it will insert. Na? So that's how we thought.
The ServiceNow is different.
Okay, got it.
Okay. Okay, you people can just try that. The same exercise what I told you. You people can just give this employee number, okay, and give the user ID as blank and let me know what is the, like, what did you get? You got my question, right? Just remove the user ID for the existing employee number and let me know what is the result.
Yep.
I'll just give you people 5 minutes. You people can just try and let me know what is your findings there. Are you people done? Any questions? So were you able to do that? Just say yes or no. If like you're not able to do it, we can just do it together. Yes, no, just answer something. Now, okay, so what is your finding, Vasu? Okay, we are doing. Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. You can continue. Are you people done with this? Let us do it together. So the same thing, Okay. So what I'll be doing, I'll just go here, load data. Okay. So the existing table, the file, I'll just choose the different file, demo import data, and I'll click on submit. So we have removed it for demo test state, right? Okay. So once I have done that, okay, I'll just run the transform.
Sorry, D'Souza, you're not sharing your screen.
Okay. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Okay, what I have done, I've just removed this. That's it. Okay. So once I have removed this, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to do the same thing. Okay, load data. Okay, so once I load data, I have done the same, the file I have taken. Which file is that? The same demo import data, and I'm clicking on submit. So once I have done that, already transform map is already there. I'll just click on run transform. So the transform map is already created for demo transform data to sys user. Click on transform. Okay, now let's see what has happened. Okay, all are ignored. Just the one. All right. Employee number is not there. I think I didn't save this file. Just give me a minute. Let me do this. Load data. Okay, existing table. Let me choose the file, demo import data, submit. Then I'll just click on run transform. Okay, so 10 records. So all the 10 records got ignored. Okay. So all the 10 records got ignored. Because like there is nothing to update, like you have made it as a blank. So when we are creating the transform map, like there we have an option to ignore empty fields or create a record for that empty field. You have that option, right? That we didn't check. So that's the reason, like it's not updating anything. It doesn't find anything new there. So that's the reason it just ignored. Are people clear with that? Are you able to do this? It has ignored, yes. Okay. Okay. So this is something about the transform maps. Now let's see. Some questionnaire on the transform map.
This is a.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any provision to upload the file? Means varieties of file like CSV file, Excel file.
Yeah, we can do that. Like if you have
time.
the CSV format, you can do it. So that's what we have it here, right? Say for example, if you see here, okay, so once I click on load data, can you see this choose file? Okay, if I choose the file.
Sorry, your screen is not visible.
Not visible. Let me stop and share it again. So for the other people also, it's the same?
It's visible.
It's visible.
Yeah. Okay, it's visible. You can just like reload it. So here what's happening is like the source of the file, as I told you, like in the ServiceNow docs, as I showed you, like, so those are the things which will be accepted by the ServiceNow. Okay. So all those formats you can upload. It's not necessary that you have to do it only in Excel. For me, like the Excel is the convenient thing where I can just show you the people, the live data and all. So that's the reason I have taken Excel. If you want CSV, you can take it.
No. What I'm trying to tell you, ask you that Can we do at the same time? CSV file, JDBC file, Excel file, like that at the same time? That I'm trying to ask.
Okay. So what you can do is you can just create, okay, but you need to load the data with a single file, right? Like say, for example, if you have selected, like, let's say 2 files, you can select only a single file there. You cannot select 2 to 3 files, but only when you are transforming the data, let's say, here you can do the multiple transforms. Okay, so you can load the data. Once you have loaded the data in this run transform, so apart from this transform, you can do so many things. Like if you want, if you have the maps created for the other transforms also, you can just put all this maps here and you can transform them. It is possible. But like at a time, you can load, you can upload only a single file.
Okay.
You cannot upload many files.
Because
We'll
user
accept
might
only a single
give
file.
us the data in different format, like PDF format, Excel format, CSV format. That's the reason I asked you the question.
Then you can do it like one by one. Initially, you
One
can
by
do
one.
it with Excel, then you can do it with the CSV. It's one by one, like one after the other. You can't do it parallelly.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks.
Any other questions?
Hello, this is in last example. You have to keep one field blank, right? Yeah, and the whole record is ignored. Right, but I had just did one. I had just done one practice, so I have. Can I share my screen with you? Just 1 minute.
Yeah, sure.
See. Are you able to see my screen?
No.
Yeah.
I think you people cannot share the screen. It's the demo thing, right? Like you people cannot share the screen. So the thing is, ideally what will happen is it will check whether the empty records are there or not. Like if the empty records are there, like it will, you have an option when we are creating the transform map. Okay, whether do you want to take the empty records are there. Like if you click on the yes there, then it will try to take that empty record and like remove the value, whatever is there in that particular field. As I have not checked that empty record thing, so that's the reason it has not taken.
Yeah, got it. Yes.
Now, okay. So the same thing, we'll see it here. So introduction to the transform map, like the transform map in ServiceNow is focusing on the role in optimizing the workflow efficiency, understanding how to leverage these tools can significantly. Data import process can be done. Okay.
Can you share
So
the
what
screen?
is, sorry? Okay.
Can you share the screen?
Yeah, let me do it. Let me know when you can see my screen. Is it visible?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So introduction to the transform maps, the transform map focuses on the role, like whatever we have done, like if you read this, you will be able to correlate it. Okay, so that's the reason I'll be just showing this PPT at last. Okay, so what is transform map? It is an essential component in ServiceNow that facilitate data transformation during the import operations. Like it tells us like how the data from various sources is mapped to the target tables, ensuring accurate data integration and minimizing the errors. Okay, understanding the structure is crucial. Key components of the transform maps, as I told you, the source tables, the target tables, the field mappings, and the transformation scripts. Okay, so these are the key components which we have it in the transform maps. Then coming to the create a transform map, like as I showed you, like you have to define the source. The source is nothing but the import set table here and the target tables. And then we will be establishing the field mappings and set transformation rules. Okay, it uses the ServiceNow interface to configure the settings. Like everything we have done it from the ServiceNow interface only, right? So that's what it is telling. Enabling seamless data integration. Best practices for optimization, consider implementing best practices, utilizing field mapping efficiently, and regularly reviewing and updating maps. Okay, so like once you get the data, make sure that all the data is filled and you don't have any duplicates. Like you can just validate it. Anyways, like if you don't have it, like it will throw us an error. but like it's a best practice to validate the data before you load it. Common challenges like the data inconsistency, mapping errors. So that's what, like that's the reason like they have given that data viewer there. Okay, mapping errors and performance issues with the transform map. Say for example, you are having some 100,000 records. Okay, so that time like 1 lakh records and all, like there is some delay. Okay, with this 10 records, it is able to do it in 1 second. For that, it will take some time. Okay, so addressing the challenges involves through testing, logging features, proper documentation. Okay, and all this should be there. So the real world application, usually we will be using this for the IT service management, HR and finance. So whatever whoever the users are onboarded, so we will be able to do it using this transform maps, and we will be able to load it in the user table. Measuring the workflow efficiency, like it should track the key performance indicators such as like how much is the import speed. We can see the import speed also there, right? Like the error rates, user satisfaction, and all these things here. Okay, then like coming to the conclusion, like this transform maps plays a crucial role in the service now. Okay, so I just want you people to answer these questions. What is the primary purpose of a transform map in service now? You can just type in either A, B, E.
To move data
Yes,
from
to
one source to
import
another.
data. Is that to move data? Is this the one you're talking to import data from external sources into ServiceNow tables? Or you're referring to something else? Actually, the primary purpose of the transform map. Yes, you're right. Okay, so that's the right answer. We can just import the data from external data sources to the ServiceNow tables. What does a source table refer in a transform map?
External data source.
Yes, perfect. Okay, the external data source containing the data to be imported. What does the target table refer to the transform map?
That the ServiceNow table, the data is being imported.
Perfect. Okay, so it's the same ServiceNow table which we have done it. What is the field map within the transform map? What is the field map we are referring to here? So we have done the mapping, right?
Mapping between field in the source table and field in the
mapping
target.
between fields in the source table and the target table. Which of this is a common use case for the transform maps? Which of these is the use case?
Importing data from a CSV file into ServiceNow.
Importing the data. Which of this is a common use case for transform map? Create user accounts, importing data, manually updating configuration items, manually. So no. What is the common use of the transform maps? So we have seen a use case, right? What is that use case? We have seen manually uploading the user records. Okay, yes. Then, right here. What does the 𝗨𝗶𝘁𝗶𝗃 field do in the field map?
To identify the duplicates.
It specifies which field should be used to identify existing records in the target table, right? So what happens if a matching record is found based on the 𝗨𝗨𝗃 field during a transform? What has happened in our case?
Update the data.
Yes, perfect. The existing record is updated with the data from the source. What happens if no matching record is found based on the 𝗨𝗨𝗃 field during the transform?
New record is created.
Yes, in this example also, right? Like the new record is created, right? What is the purpose of transform scripts in a transform map? So this is used to perform more complex data transformations, like if you want to modify the data. Say, for example, if you are getting some combination of the data, say, for example, in the first name, you have something called the company name. ABC is the company name. ABC user 1, ABC user 2, ABC user 3. Okay. But in the user table, I just don't want to get that ABC thing. What I can do, I can just split that ABC, remove that ABC. Okay. So I can just do those kind of things in the transform scripts. What is import set table?
Staging table.
Staging table where data is initially loaded.
Perfect. Okay, so it's done. Okay, so like if you have any queries, okay, if you have any queries or any questions, like I think like Shah or Tausif had already told you, okay, about the paid trainings. Okay, so if you people have any questions in that, you can just reach out to them. Okay, because the registrations will be closed. I think like he told me by tomorrow end of the day. Okay, so like after that again, like it will take some time, 1 month of time to start the batches. Okay, because the number of trainers, it depends on the availability of the trainers also. So please at least make pay the token amount and get your seat registered. Okay, anyways, like it's not mandatory that you have to pay the complete amount right now. So it will be taken in the installments. So please make sure that you will to register the seat as soon as possible. Okay, and also like there is some feedback form, okay, which is available. I think like Shah has pinged you in the chat also. You people can just take some time, okay, and give the feedback so that it will be helpful for us to improve further if we have any issues. Okay, and one more last thing. So the class will not be there tomorrow. Okay, let's meet up again on Friday. Okay, okay then. Yeah, thank you all.
Okay,
Thanks.
and
Bye-bye.
guys, yeah, just hold. So, D'Souza, you can drop. So, yeah, you can drop. So, before we drop, is there anyone who is having any doubts related to the syllabus, the combo syllabus offered by HackNow? So, please feel free to ask. I'm here to address them. If no, then it's okay. You guys can drop.